Linking on my brain.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope all you guys are safe out there due to this whole coronavirus quarantine thing. I hope you guys are all staying inside and staying safe. Today we're going to be continuing my series of looking at younger players, how they have improved from the previous season to this season, how good they actually are, etc. All that kind of stuff. I've already done Colin Sexton, I've done Zach LaVine, and I most recently have done Lonzo Ball. But today, we're going to be talking about Kelly Oubre of the Phoenix Suns. And obviously, if you want to check out the other videos that I just named, you guys can click on my channel and go find them, or I will put them all in the description down below. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, before we get into his season this year, I actually have a funny story I want to say real quick about Kelly Oubre. As you guys already know, I am a credentialed media member, so I'm at almost every Pistons home game. And I was at the game when the Phoenix Suns came to Little Caesars Arena. Now, after the game, you know, the players walk through their tunnel, and they usually take off their armbands like a headband. Sometimes they'll throw it to the fans, or sometimes they'll pick a kid they want to give it to personally, all that kind of stuff. Now, Kelly Oubre was walking through, and there were these girls to my left that were just screaming the entire game about Kelly Oubre. The entire game, they were just losing their minds. So Kelly Oubre's walking to the locker room. He got his headband on, he takes off his headband, and they're all screaming. He throws it up to them. Man, when I tell you, I have never seen some girls lose their minds like they did at this game. Like, they were losing their minds. They were non-stop screaming. Like, the game was over, people were leaving, and they were non-stop screaming for like 10 minutes. Because after the game, I don't just get up and leave. I sit there, I put all my stuff away and everything to get ready to go to the media room. They were still there the entire time screaming as loud as possible over him. So yeah, if you ever question how much the girls actually love Kelly Oubre, if that was all like blown out of proportion, nah, that love is for real. But anyways, Kelly Oubre this season made improvements across the board. He had career highs in true shooting percentage, career highs in three-point percentage, career high in field goal percentage. He had career highs across the board and had a really good season. This season for the Phoenix Suns, Kelly Oubre averaged 18.7 points, 6.4 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 1.3 steals, and like I said earlier, on a career high field goal percentage of 45.2, a career high true shooting percentage of 56.0, and a career high three-point percentage of 35.2% on a career high attempts per game at 5.5. What really elevated Kelly Oubre's game on the offensive end was his outside shot. Before this season, throughout his career, he was only a 32% shooter from deep on 3.3 attempts. That's not very good at all. That was the spot that Kelly Oubre needed to improve on. Outside of that, he virtually stayed the same player. He was really good at getting to the rim, and he's really athletic, so he finishes over people, as you see right there over JaVale McGee. Last season, he had 70 dunks. This season, he had 71 dunks. He stayed virtually the same from mid-range as well. From 16 to three-point line, he shot 55%. The year before, 51%. So he got better there too. So really, the major improvement that Kelly Oubre needed to make was beyond the arc, and he made that this year, and it made him a really good offensive player. The improvement of his outside shot also made him a much more efficient player, which is what the goal is in the end. This also showed in how the team performed offensively with him on the floor. With Kelly Oubre on the floor, the team's offensive rating was 110.6. With him off, 107.6. 3 whole points better with him on the floor. And of all the players on the Phoenix Suns who played at least 1,000 minutes for him, he was one of the 4 players who had a positive on-court net rating at 0.2. This play right here shows everything you love about Kelly Oubre on offense. Here, he's going to get the ball in the corner, and Siakam's going to close out because of his improved three-point shooting. And watch what that creates for him. He's able to get to the rim, body up, uses his athleticism, and finish over Fred VanVleet. That play right there shows the improvement and how his improvement from beyond the arc has helped him in other areas on offense. Siakam's a good defender, but he had to come close out on Kelly Oubre's three-point shot because he's improved from out there. But Kelly Oubre is really good at going to the rim and finishing over or through contact because of his athleticism, his long arms, and his nice touch around the rim. So this past season, Kelly Oubre was a really efficient offensive player. The Suns' offense was better with him on the floor, and due to his improvement from beyond the arc, it opened up so many other avenues for his game and made it much easier for him and other facets of the game on offense. One area Kelly Oubre still needs to improve on the offensive side of the floor is his playmaking. Last season he averaged 1.5 assists but also 1.5 turnovers. That's not very good at all. He also needs to get better at when he gets to the rim to find players outside the arc because the defense is sucking into his drive. So once he gets better in that area too and takes care of the ball better, maybe cut down the turnovers. You don't have to technically get like at 4 or 5 assists. Just cut down the turnovers, take better care of the ball, and be capable of finding open teammates when you drive to the rim. Again, no one's talking about becoming a primary playmaker or even a secondary playmaker. Just improve to where you're not a liability in that area, to where, like I said, if you get to the rim and a defense sucks in, you're capable of making the right read and finding an open teammate on the three-point line. So overall, I think Kelly Oubre is a pretty good offensive player. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, it gets a little bit more confusing and harder to evaluate him. So the numbers, first of all, aren't very kind to him. He ranks 118th in defensive box plus minus at negative 0.4, and the Suns' offense is also 1.2 points worse with him on the court. However, the numbers don't always tell the full story, and from when I've watched Kelly Oubre, I didn't think he was that bad of a defender, and some of the other people I've spoken to that aren't necessarily Phoenix guys, but like Kelly Oubre, say that he's a nice defender. So I decided to go talk to some Phoenix guys. I went and spoke to Gerald Bourget, the editor and writer-in-chief at The Step Back, and I also talked to Max, who also is a big Phoenix Suns guy, and I told them, I'm making a video on Kelly Oubre. I feel like I have a good understanding of him on offense, but on defense it seems like everybody's a little bit confused by him. What do you guys think? It seems like he has the prototypical body for a defender, the athleticism, and the long arms to be a good defender, and a lot of people think he's a nice defender outside of Phoenix, so what's going on with him? And they both pretty much told me the same thing. Yes, he does have the prototypical body to be a good defender, and he makes a lot of highlight defensive plays, especially in the passing lanes because of his long arms and athleticism. But they both pointed out that he makes a lot of mistakes within a team defense, and they also pointed out that he plays a lot of his position on defense at the 4, which is out of position for him. They both told me that he's a better defender than the numbers say he is, but it's also hard to tell just how much better he actually is, due to the fact that the Suns don't have very many good team defenders anyways, and also the fact that he plays out of position, and they also pointed out that their lineups are constantly changing. It's hard to really evaluate him on that defensive end. Max told me that the belief and the hope within Phoenix is that once he gets a stable position on defense with better defensive pieces around him and a more stable defensive system, that he will be that nice defender that most people think he is. But as of right now, he gets a lot of deflections and makes a lot of highlight defensive plays, but also gets lost a lot within the team defense, and it also doesn't help that he's guarding guys that he probably shouldn't be guarding. So, how good do I think Kelly Oubre is? Honestly, I think he's a really good player. I'm going to keep it 100 with you guys. When he was on the trade block a few years ago with the Wizards, I really wanted the Pistons to trade for him. You guys can ask anybody within Pistons Twitter. I was tweeting about it. I was mentioning it all over the place. I really wanted to go after him. And like I've said multiple times in this video already, he has the prototypical wing body. He likes to dunk on people. He can finish over you and through you. And his willingness to want to dunk on people gets him to the free throw line, which, by the way, he got there 4.4 times a game this year, a career high. And like Max and Gerald told me, I believe that he can be a really good defender. Like I said, he has long arms, so it gets him in the passing lanes, and he can finish in the break. That gets easy, fast break points. Also, he's a really good on-ball defender, I believe. He gets lost team-wise, and also it hurts him that he's out of position. He also plays with a bunch of other bad defenders, and the defensive system down there in Phoenix also isn't the greatest. But like they told me, I also believe it. If you put him in the right system and in the right positioning on defense, I believe that he can become a really good defender, which would make him an extremely good two-way player. So right now, I believe Kelly Oubre is a top 100 player. He's an above average starter at his position, and he's a really nice young piece that you'd love to have on your team. I'd love it if the Pistons had him. We haven't had a good wing player in like 30 years. I mean, let me stop trolling. We had a good one with Tayshaun, but it feels like 30 years. We've been horrible on the wing. So I'd love it if the Pistons had him, and I believe a lot of teams would love to have him too. And if you want me to be honest with my opinion, if he keeps his shooting improvement and he continues to be really good on offense and he continues to get to the free throw line, and he also gets better on defense consistent wise, and he gets better team defenders around him, he starts to play his position more, gets put into a better defensive system, I believe he starts trending towards the top half of that top 100. I think around top 60. I'm a really big fan of Kelly Oubre. I think he has a lot of potential. And that's all I've got for you guys today. Let me know if you guys agree with me in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up down below as well. And if you haven't already and you like this series I'm doing and you liked all my other videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. A lot of you guys who watch these videos are not subscribed, so I'd really appreciate if you guys just took your time out to hit that subscribe button for me. It would really help me out. Let me know in the comment section down below who you guys would like to see next. And until my next video, I'll see you guys later. Peace out, y'all.